All right, welcome to Dented Cans. I'm your host, Mike Fenoya. Today, we have the great big Jay Oakerson on the program to discuss a profound mushroom experience he's recently had at a concert, the goofy things that we did as young comics trying to navigate this silly world, and so much more. So happy to have Jay here. I love him, and his new special, Dog Belly, is on his YouTube channel, so go subscribe. And folks, if you're loving the podcast, you can go rate, review, share, subscribe. It means a lot. If you want full uninterrupted video, you can go to patreon.com/Mike Fenoya, MikeFinoia. And as always, we'd love to thank our sponsor, Sunset Lake CBD, farm crafted CBD from Burlington, Vermont. They have smokables, tinctures, salves, oils, you name it. Pet CBD, sleep CBD. It's the best stuff in the world. I love it. And if you would like to take advantage of our discount, go to sunsetlakecbd.com and use promo code DENTED for 20% off. That's sunsetlakecbd.com, promo code DENTED for 20% off.
I do love one thing that's great about you. You are so easy to draw. It takes nothing.
A toe with two dots.
It takes nothing. I mean, a slight gap in the front teeth.
Yeah.
Head, eyes, nose.
A Mr. Clean chin.
Yeah. A masculine chin.
I once was told I had good chin-like features, which is like, you just mean my chin?
Chin-like?
What an odd fucking thing to say.
Your chin reminds me of chins. Damn it. I mean, if somebody for people to go like, oh, I'm going to animate one of Mike's bits or like a story about himself, it's like
they just look at their thumb.
The price couldn't be that high. You know what I mean? Like there's so little detail they have to draw. Glasses maybe once in a while.
I go, can you draw me? And then I text 3 minutes later, like, what's taking so long? Hurry up, let me get that back.
But it's not even like, well, sometimes he'll have on his super unique glasses. It's just
no,
glasses.
It's just square thing.
Just glasses.
Do you remember when on the bonfire we went over my headshots that I did where it was like I was on the fire escape, like looking into my future?
Yeah.
That's the worst. Dude, posing for anything is just absolute garbage.
I know. And then the thing is like, you have to get out of the mode of comedian to do a lot of things. You know, Louis J. Gomez did give me he caught me right before my special at Webster Hall, and he watched me rehearse the walkout. Yeah. And he backstage he came up to me and he was like, dude, I know like the instinct is to be like, this is so stupid. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the bravado. He's like, but you have to go out there and own the moment. And go high five people and like, you know, smile and put your hand up. You know what I mean? Like, thank you guys so much. You know what I mean? It's like you have to make it a cool moment. You can't make it just like this is stupid.
I know.
What's the point of doing
can't.
it? But I'm so bad at it. Like, even I did my last one at Skankfest and they like went nuts when I came out.
Yeah.
You know, they know it's a special taping, so they're like the fans.
Right.
And they're losing their minds. And I ended up, my special is same with yours, just you're in it already.
Yeah, and I did mine.
Just start on stage already.
I love how that is. I like that because it's like, it's a good way to like kind of bypass that part.
Yeah, I saw Jeselnik do it a while back. He had a great one where he opened like that.
I had a whole idea, like the theater I had all these cutouts of like John Travolta and the Bee Gees and Andy Warhol and like Wonder Woman and shit. And I liked how Bargatze had like when he's walking to the stage, he's like giving everybody he loves a high five. I just wanted to like high five these cardboard cutouts and just kind of have them fall over, like just like I don't have friends at my special, so I have to like invite an Andy Warhol cutout.
Oh, Nate did the whole perp walk.
He really did. Yeah, it was kind of amazing.
My favorite is when Nick Novicki, our little person friend, he started shaking his hand before he was fully up the stairs. Like Nick was on the landing. Yeah. And Nate had about 7 stairs still going. He was already started shaking his hand, so it's not an awkward reach down.
They're like, let's put him up here.
Yeah. There you go. Nate, start shaking now.
He's got one of those fake hands. Yeah, you do got to kind of professional wrestling it a little bit. Like, that's hard.
No, you have to, but at least for the moments, you know what I mean? And there ends up being like, if you don't take a few, like, you won't have any, like, good pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
What could every picture just be like a straight face, like
Just a mope.
I am performing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want it sucks, but like you want to have the one where they like catch you naturally, like
Yeah, totally, dude. Those are the best.
you know what I mean. Whenever I'm smiling, like the pictures I end up using are the ones where I end up laughing at trying the pose.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
And then you're in the pose, but they got like a natural smile from you, and not like a smile where you're like, "Hey, camera," you know what I mean? It's like a natural.
It's dude. It goes back to
slight
like
giggle.
It goes back to baseball cards with me, where it's like, I never liked the picture of like the guy with the knee on his bat.
Yeah.
Or like his, the bat crossed over one knee. Like I like Ricky Henderson or Lenny Dykstra like sliding into second in a pile of dirt. Like,
oh yeah.
I think back to all of the headshots where it was like I had to pose. One of the worst ones. And man, I was at a club recently and they were using it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Do you Google like my least favorite picture? It was me sitting with a bottle of Maker's Mark and a copy of On the Road by Kerouac. It's like, what the fuck?
That's
like,
great. That's damn, dude.
It's so bad.
And then one like this.
Yeah,
You think about it,
totally.
goes,
And now
got a lot of stuff going on up in this crazy old brain of mine, dude.
that open road better watch out and open for me, because
Things are spinning, twisting, and turning up here, man. I
I'm
don't even want
holding
to
an
tell you.
unopened at the Comedy Connection in Providence. I'm leaning on the bar with the book open and I'm looking at the camera.
What a jerk off, dude! The one they always use and find for me. I think it's when clubs like, if I like know the owner or the manager,
They're
they do it
gonna
as a
break your
joke.
balls.
No,
Yeah.
it's as a joke. They'll still put up like me, like with the sledgehammer when I had the long hair. And again, I was just doing what a guy told me to do.
Right.
I didn't go like, dude, let's go get this picture of me with a sledgehammer. He's like, dude, hold the sledgehammer behind your neck. And it's so made fun of. It's like, of course it should be. Then there's the one they put up when I tried to look like Dane Cook with the open collared suit.
Oh, when your hair was like high school senior picture done.
And then that's on Ronin Fez on YouTube. You could always go look at Ronin Fez Big J headshot.
Yeah.
And it's 30 minutes of people just calling in and writing in like shitting on, and it deserved to be. My first one ever, I just asked my girlfriend to take a picture of me in front of our very shadowy white, what do you call it, like dining room wall of my mom's house.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just fat, wearing like a green t-shirt. It's like nothing to it. Like just stand. And then I went to like Rite Aid and had them blow it up to an 8x10.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And that was my headshot. And I was like, dude, I'm going to have a color headshot. And by the way, that's actually like very common now, but like that was not the thing. It was always black and white.
Always black and white.
Always black and white. And always like sent out to the same company that gives you the choice of the 3 borders. This is like the black chalk border. You know what I mean? That
totally.
one.
Yeah, yeah. With
And,
the name almost in a frame at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like, like so-and-so, management with the phone number. And then the back had like,
Yeah. Tony Camacho's phone number.
Well, no, or something that would be like the resume of like has been on New Joke City on the Metro channel in New York. Those are like my credits at the time I'm doing this,
Yeah.
Or BET's Comic View season so and so with host Lester Barry. When I first got in the comedy, man, the things I was excited to have were like going to Staples and getting like a planner.
Oh,
But I had nothing to plan. It was every Thursday I could write in open mic at the Laugh House, open mic at the Laugh House, and then Wednesdays I could start putting in open mic at New Brunswick Stress Factory, open mic, and I would. But to me it was like, and also comics, big thing too, the card.
Oh God, yeah, dude.
And everybody went to Vistaprint.
Yep.
And you'd make out. Oh, everyone did the same things too. Like I had I think a microphone and a star.
You had both?
I think. And it just said Big J, nothing else. Just my own direct phone number.
Yeah, dude. I did the same.
And I don't think email even the first time. Maybe by like the second time I printed them, I had an email or something. But I mean,
And you carry them with you.
And then also, but the planner that I bought had a card like, almost like a picture album, but for like business cards.
Yeah.
And I mean, what was to me, I was always collecting like Garbage Pail Kids, like Drew Frazier, Talent, just like guys from the Black Circle, Will Sylvans, Rob. I just had their cards lined up in there, just so I could call them. Also, by the way, at this point, you could put the number in your cell phone.
Right.
It was a Nokia, that one same brick phone everyone had, but like
the blue.
But it was like you could put it in the phone. But I was like, you want to feel like I was doing something important. Like, let me get my planner. It looks like I'm open. When is this? Because it doesn't matter. I feel like I'm open any day possible.
That is hilarious.
And it's funny as you like got more into it. It's funny those things you start losing like the value of. It's like even like I said, it came a time now where like headshots shouldn't even really be called headshots anymore. You just need to do like promo pics to like to send out digitally to people. Like to going on the loop and looking at like your stupid the negatives of you with the lighting. Although that kind of photography is kind of lost, which is kind of awesome. I mean, the way she made things look sometimes, but like they could do it all now digitally. But the thing was just like there was an excitement to like, oh, these are the pictures. And like now I'm gonna see the contact sheets.
Yep.
And you're like, oh boy. And you got a circle too with like some kind of weird chalk pen or something.
And then you're asking everybody like, yo, which ones do you think would be like, you know, which ones do you like better?
But it's funny, I lazied out of doing a lot of things until it just wasn't necessary anymore. Like having like a bunch of tapes of my comedy to send out, and you know what I mean? Like those tapes, I just was like, no, I just didn't do any of it. And then eventually it was like, well, they could be online. I'm like, oh, that's easy enough.
Yeah, dude, I went at it
with like the VHS tapes, dude. I mean, I taped sets, but then I was like to put it over and like it's amazing now too. By the way, if you're like even like an open micer sending, like that's how a lot of people get lost too. It used to be you'd know a tape was bullshit because of the quality of it's always going to sound shitty because it's VHS, but it's like a professionally like film tape or something versus a person who just sets up like a camcorder and it
in
sounds
the back
terrible.
of the room. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, but if it's your second time on stage, if you know one person who knows anything about anything, you could have like an 8K perfect with audience reactions and shit.
It's insane. My first tape ever was my first set. My first bringer show at Caroline's. Yeah. That one that you did on Sunday nights, and it was like you bring 20 people.
Was that Andy?
Linda Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Great woman. And
I banged her niece.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It was a whole thing.
Was it?
Not with her. Denise was wacky.
That was the niece? Denise the niece?
No. I'm saying the niece.
The niece
was wacky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A troubled gal.
Okay. Linda was nice.
Fun times.
I bet.
Oh, no, it's nothing about her.
No, I know.
I think she hooked up her troubled niece to get a gig at Caroline's, like a job.
Yeah.
And then, like, it was, again, this is like probably my fattest, but if not my fattest, just like definitely super insecure still.
Yeah.
So, like, this girl, and very cute chick, I mean, she really had to be like, so you gonna fuck me or not? You know what I mean? Like, it was like that aggressive. Like, what? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I took that CD, I brought it to the one friend that I knew how to burn CDs, you know? And I had him make a label that was like Mike Fenoya Caroline's, like with the thing, right? And then I made business cards.
You had to lay it perfectly?
Lay it perfectly, right? I bought folders that had a business card slot and a CD, like, jewel case thing that you could fit in there. I had my card said Mike Fenoya in the font of Metallica.
Nice.
So the M had it and the A had it, with the hope that maybe Metallica would sue me. So then it would be like something some news.
Nice.
I get some clicks before clicks were a thing.
Yeah.
And then I had my headshot.
Isn't it great? I did that with a website. My website song at one point years and years ago was "By Demons Be Driven" by Pantera.
Yeah.
And I'm like, send a cease and desist. They didn't. And they wouldn't. And nobody would have done that about your card either.
I know, really.
Because they're like, let them do it. Who gives a shit?
Cheers. This fucking open micer from Southern Connecticut's using our font.
Oh,
I wanted to make sure.
I'm going to have a team of lawyers up your ass on that one.
And what I did was
your Vistaprint cards that you got for cheaper because the back says Vistaprint.
That's totally.
Remember, you could have paid a little more, but not have it. It goes, dude, put Vistaprint.
I don't have anything to put on the back. What am I going to put? I don't have any credits.
What am I, an asshole? I'm going to deny this beautiful company of giving me a reasonably priced business card?
Free everything. When Metallica sues me, Vistaprint will get sued too, and we'll go into it together, and I can use their law.
Can you fucking imagine having a business card right now?
Oh my God, I know.
I can't believe when people still give me business cards. I'm like, I'm going to throw this out eventually when I change wallets.
This weekend, someone said to me, do you have a business card? And I was like, no. When we were in India, I'm like, no, what?
You should have said
business card.
You should have said no, but here's my calling card, and spin kick him in the dick. Because I do not have this card, but I do have a calling card.
That read the bruise in 24 hours, and you'll have everything you need.
Thank you for a wonderful night.
We're gonna enjoy your special. Yeah, I used to, but what I did, because I did sales before stand-up, was I treated stand-up like sales, where I like looked at Boston, Providence, Maine, New Hampshire, New York, and I went with a stack of folders.
Mike's like,
and
I do well in crabbing towns.
Where they could pay me an ale.
Yeah, he goes, I like to perform for a nice offshoreman. You know what I mean? I don't like these city ninnies.
Hell no. I was going up to Portland, Maine, having a lobster roll in the car with the windows down.
Hey, boys, you pulling a good haul today?
I would show up at clubs during the day and be like, just want to let you know I'm doing stand-up comedy now. And just hand them a folder.
What does that make you cringe like now?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
How does it make you cringe
dude.
now?
It's
dude,
horrible.
I saw a comic years ago.
Because no one tells you how to do it. That's
I
the
know.
problem.
Well, someone will tell you how to do it. You just got to find that person. You know, Keith was our person.
That for me.
Right. Keith was mine. Keith Robinson was my person with that. As far as that goes, like
don't look
like a lunatic. And also like, you know, but do talk to that person.
Right.
Get that person a VHS tape. Do, you know what I mean? Like he gave me all the right stuff, but fuck.
The person that'll tell you.
Yeah, when you don't have that at all, like Tommy, this guy, I don't want to give his name. He was a black circuit comic from Philly. Great dude. But he didn't know. And like I was still straddling the two worlds when I started getting into the comedy clubs, but not even in. But I would hang at the Cell every night and they all knew who I was. The staff all knew we're Keith's guys.
Yep.
It's me, Kev, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kurt.
Yeah. And I would bring up sometimes the Philly black circuit guys because they would see me and I'd be talking to them. You know, I'm like, no, yeah, I'm doing like the Boston Comedy Club and hanging at the Cellar with all these guys. Well, I want to come up. And I would bring them up, and they would always, almost without fail, like do something sort of embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
And the first was always,
yeah.
This does nothing. The one that's like yours, I'll tell you a second. But the first one was this guy Dorian, big dude, sweet guy, great guy, actually, funny too. But again, living in that world like black circuit comedy, you almost like stop outwardly enjoying not black comedy. Like he's not like almost allowed to, but he's a huge Seinfeld fan. And this is when they were filming Comedian, the documentary at the Cellar.
Yeah.
And I even told him, I go, yeah, maybe you'll even see Seinfeld. Like, he's like there pretty much every night now. And he's like, oh, cool, man. He's like, I'm a huge dude, his panic, we're standing outside the Cellar and Jerry Seinfeld and an entourage-ish, you know, at least people kind of making sure he's clear.
Sure.
To get him in the club, walks by, and I'm just like, hey, dude, Jerry Seinfeld. Dorian panic. I guess panic's the right word, but he just goes, "Looking diesel, Jerry." Looking diesel, Jerry. One, he wasn't. Two, what? He just wanted to compliment him somehow. I don't know. It was just a whiff.
That is such a whiff.
And the other was a comic who did
Looking diesel.
This guy did a bunch of voices, like not voices, characters on stage, like full dressed up in them. He'd kill on Comic View. I don't think he ever did Def Jam, but his friend too, like a sweet guy. But it was all like this character work, and his headshots were like the awful. It's like him in the middle, like looking up, like what's happened to my brain? And it's like a little picture of the character. You know what I mean? Like it's just
totally.
so cringe. Again,
It really is.
he's got to be like, look at all these wacky characters in my life. And he had that headshot, and I brought him up. One time we went to the Cell and we were hanging out, and this lady Yila, who was a manager there for a long time, she's been gone for a while, I think now, but she was just sitting and you know, this is like the clubs in New York. I realized this too. I used to be mad at people for the way they treated me when I was a young comic, and I'm like, this happens. You're like the 750th today of 1400 today. Young comics is going to be like, why don't I work here? You know, it's like, hey, what do I do? How do I get? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at this point, there was only so many clubs, and there was only so many slots.
And there was only, it wasn't
There was
like
way
it is
less
now.
slots.
Yeah, Jesus.
Than there is. And
Yeah.
Tommy Smooth comes up, and I'm like, I said his name. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's doing fine. But I was like, hey, this is Tommy Too Smooth. You know, I introduced him, something like that. And she goes, oh, nice to meet you. You know, just like casually. I was going to walk out. There's no reason to make this any longer.
Sure.
Unless it's organic.
Yeah.
He goes, sweetheart. He goes, this is for you. And just like, she's like a bigger girl, so she had like a big forearm, you know what I mean? And just like sliding his picture into the meat, just I see like the and he's sliding, he goes, you're gonna be needing that pretty soon. And I was like, oh no. Dude, Oh, dude, you're like, you have to get him outside and then come back in and go, oh, I forgot something inside. Go back in there and go, that was, trust me that I know that was insane. And I'm sorry that happened. You know what I mean? Like, it was such a weird thing. But no one, I did things like that. Never with that kind of confidence, but I said, I've called like, I remember from my mom's living room when I lived there, calling management companies in New York who I know who they are now.
Yeah.
And being like,
I know, right?
Yeah. And then being like, so what, I'm looking for a manager. I've been kicking asses for about 3 months. The black people seem to love when I fuck the shit out of a stool and take my clothes off. So
I got that going.
I think we're ready to get this thing up a level. Should I just want to know if I should start picking out a penthouse in New York yet, or if I should just kick it here at my mom's in South Jersey for a while still until we get things sorted out. There's probably a lot of red tape here,
dude.
I had no idea, dude. And then, by the way, that's why I was also going to give up after a couple years, because I was just like, oh, I don't know, like, I'm either killing or getting like threatened or maybe almost beat up in these black circuit clubs.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the next step is.
It's so sobering when you do finally find like an older brother in it that's like, no, listen, like, good, so far, great. You made it this far without completely making a fucking knobber out of yourself to everybody. But let's just follow me and, you know, whatever. And that was I was glad I had you, because I was doing like Providence, you know, Corey and them at Comedy Connection. They used me early on. The first time they ever gave me a guest spot, I brought friends. I booked a room at like the Biltmore. Like went out to dinner. Like it was like, I like had like a new shirt.
You were like blank check.
Literally, I didn't even get paid. Like, it cost me like.
No, I'm saying we're just going out there doing this. We're gonna do this. We're taking limousines there. I'm gonna hang out on the roof. Can you leave it? You want a water? I'll take a Topo Chico, please.
We were rolling up coolers into the room and shit. I did like 7 to 10, like, you know what I mean? Like just no one's paying attention. But it was the night.
I had my dad and my stepmother's family all come. I basically drove to Ohio a few months in the comedy to have them all come out to watch me do a guest spot. Like I was headlining. I was like, you know, show up big for this morning. I mean, it was 5 to 7.
Yeah, 5 to 7, dude. I did 5 minutes on the first ever show at Caroline's. Linda came up to me afterwards. She goes, "Come back next week. Do another 5. Do a guest spot. You don't have to bring anybody.
Have sex with my niece."
I'm like, I've heard about her. She goes, "Come do another 5." I thought you had to do a brand new 5. I didn't know you can do the same 5 a second time. So I like wrote the most god awful, dude. It was like the Jets were in the playoffs, and I wrote a joke about like, I go, "Oh, you guys want the score to the game?" Like the whole plan was for me to like, I researched like the Jets will be playing while I'm on. It's New York. I can make fun of how Rex Ryan's fat. And I'm like, oh, Jets, whatever, Viking, Chiefs, whatever. And and Rex Ryan ate the place kicker. And then I'm like waiting, and I got nothing. And I'm like, and I don't think I can go back to the other jokes. So I'm telling all this shit, dude. I ate shit so fucking hard in front of Louie. Louie was going up next to tape stuff for the show, and I'm like, it's over. He's my favorite. It's over. I went in the green room and started like throwing water bottles around, and she came in and she's like, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm like, I guess I only have 5. She goes, "You don't have to write 5 new."
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Every time, you idiot. Like, she's like, just go do that 5.
Oh, I thought so. Or a new stunt. Or no, I had no idea, dude. I just know, like, right away, if it makes sense, like, when I saw other guys, like, there was guys I came to the first couple weeks of that open mic, even before I went on.
Yeah.
And what I noticed was I'd be like, damn, dude, that guy killed. Or that guy, like, fuck, dude, that was so funny. And even if I was just so impressed with people going up there and killing on this open mic thing, even though it was like sold out.
Right.
It was like it was all the local black comics in Philly. So it was like, it wasn't really open mic's the wrong word. It was like a show.
How many people would be how many people would go to those?
Audience?
Yeah.
Oh, so it was sold out 250 people?
So
maybe?
250
maybe
seat
300.
room.
Yeah,
Jesus.
250, I think.
And it would just be how many comics? Like 35, 40?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's intimidating.
But like with a host, and like the host would murder, you know what I mean? Like DJ music before every playing the music. You could give your music cues. I had said the dumb stunts. I'd take my clothes off, or the fake nipple rings was one of the funniest ones.
You were the Black Circuit Chips Cooney.
I mean, dude, the nipple. When I stopped doing getting naked down to my underwear joke,
yeah,
because Keith Robinson kind of like was like, "What are you doing?" Like, it's funny because anyone can get in their underwear and get a laugh.
Right.
If you're not Brad Pitt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he's right. But I was like, I gotta do something. And I just tied string around. You know the story. I tied string around my neck, taped it right above my nipples, and left extra string hanging on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And brought in a book bag 2 giant tinfoil rings I've made, tied them to the strings right before I went on stage. Did a whole set like standing awkwardly. You kind of don't want them to see, but of course. And then I was like, blah, 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 last punchline. Whatever kind of laughter it got. And I was like, by the way, guys, before you get out of here, I got some new piercings. Like, let me know what you think. Is it too much? And it's just like, a fat belly and tits. But they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's not. But I remember walking.
Breaking ground.
I remember walking back though. No, I only did that once because I remember going back and I was like, that's just. I might as well be taking my. It's. And I'm like, he's right. I gotta like write some jokes that are like funny, like instead of like worrying that I gotta like fucking do a whole dog and pony show at the end. But man, But that first time I went on stage, and I felt like, I got way away from myself. The guys who were doing great, by the time I'd go back like the third week and chickened out from going on, I'm watching them kill, and I'm like, he's using that same prop from last time. That guy's saying the same whole set. I'm like, he's doing the whole same thing again. And then I'm like, oh, that's like, I go, oh, well, maybe I could stand out because I'm going to go write a new thing. And then someone did get to me pretty quick and be like, hey, man, like, get the 5 minutes good.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? It wasn't perfect yet. Like find the thing of that, because you get these concepts and you're going, it goes, what's the point of just like blowing it every time?
Right, yeah.
But the funny thing is I kind of came around to that when I started doing like crowd work stuff, because I was like, oh, well, then I don't have to do the rehearse thing.
That's where that kind of, I remember I felt like Sloth and Goonies when Chunk's like, you're gonna come live with me now. Remember, he's like, ooh, in his ear, like when I got the first laugh on the first joke I wrote, because I thought, I'm like, this is gonna, I was like, oh, it was like a handicap space joke at the mall. Like, the holidays are here. I got a great parking spot, and some guy's like, get out of my spot. And I didn't have time for that, so I kicked his wheelchair over and went into the mall. And I'm expecting nothing, and it got a laugh because everyone I know is in the room, and they feel horrible for me. So I get a laugh, and then I'm like, huh? I'm like, they like me. And then I go like, oh, all right. And then I think that shit's amazing. And then I go do that 5. After I got off stage, I went into the middle of Times Square and threw my hat in the air like Mary Tyler Moore. Like, this is my city now.
You're gonna make it after all. You froze in the air.
I froze in the air with my Yukon hat in the air. And Dan Calloway's my Rhoda just behind me. But anyway, I go do that 5 at an open mic in St. Mark's. First time I met like Normand and those guys, and I just walked in like, hey, I'm ready to fucking knock it out of the park. And I did that 5.
You want me to close this show?
You want to close this open mic?
Hey guys, you want me to close this thing out or what's up?
Dude, I did that 5. So I kicked his wheelchair over and walked into the mall, and they were like, ugh. And all walked out. And I was just like, oh, that's comedy.
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready.
I'm just going to go back to Connecticut till you guys are ready.
Yo, y'all weren't ready. Oh, I thought you New York motherfuckers wasn't pussy like that.
It's so ridiculous when you go back and look at it and you're like, wow, if I could just... I used to try to take the perfect amount of Xanax and the perfect amount of Ritalin at the same time, so I wouldn't be nervous, but I wouldn't be sleepy, and go up and like try to like, or just why not take anything? Like, what a weird thing to... I was getting like into like the chemistry of it. Like,
I still sort of have the, when I'm like headlining, like it's almost like ritualistic. I'm like, smoke weed for sure, and then like 2, depending on the size they pour, like 2 to 3 shots of tequila and just like a sip of a White Claw, and then I can go back to like Diet Cokes. But it's almost like that gets me like the exact kind of buzz I need to be. It's like try to say something that I'm like, all right, I just thought of this
immediately
a millisecond ago, and I'm going to say it.
Yeah, but you don't need it, and you didn't always need it. I felt that.
I don't think I need it.
No, if we got there at last minute and you had to run on,
you're fine.
But I was like, what chemistry do I do? I remember you and I were at Joker's, and we smoked a ton of weed, and I went on, and I was frozen. I was doing well. It was like me and the crowd were having 2 totally separate experiences. It was literally like skeet shooting. Like, I'd load the next joke, like bing, ding, ding, and then like my mouth would seize up in between jokes. I completely lost all character, and I couldn't do it anymore. Like, that's why I can't smoke and go up.
Yeah. Pussy.
I am a huge puss. I do want to try. I've done some microdoses and gone up.
You think I'm gonna take some mescaline and give it a shot? I think.
Yeah, a little ketamine comedy.
I'm gonna start my set while sucking a fentanyl lollipop.
You never. There's those like kind of gimmicky like shows where it's like you eat mushrooms, then you go up, or you get high, or you get naked and then go up and all that. Like, was that shit like anything that you liked doing back in the like?
No,
I hate all of them.
No, by the time like themed shows, I guess. I mean, I'm sure I did some theme shows, but for the most part, it was just like stand-up stuff. But I liked watching those. Like naked comedy is always like intrigued the shit out of me.
It's so crazy to me.
Just because you're like,
it's the most.
I said, forget even like you think like the best part's going to be like the hot chicks, but that's like the most not like crazy part. It's like brazen guys with little tiny wieners.
Yeah.
Fat women, you know what I mean? All these things, you're like, no way, dude. Good for you. And then also, you're also like, oh, I didn't know. Especially when you knew the people, you're like, oh, I didn't know so-and-so had a body like that.
Who the hell wasn't that naked roast battle? Girl took the jokes out of her puss. That was an unbelievable moment.
What a moment, yeah.
I was like, geez, no pockets.
She's hot.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. She's like a hot chick.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
She's great. Yeah.
That was
she killed. Dude, that was
fantastic. I mean, that's an uppercut right off the gut. You know what I mean?
Like, so I'm saying it was hers to lose that point, then her jokes were good. So yeah,
totally. I don't know, man. I can't get too fucked up and go up, but I like getting like the after like I did a huge dose of mushrooms and then I did a couple shows that weekend, and I had less like I didn't care as much. And I think that like what I'm trying to like, I look back, like we're talking about looking back on how shitty and stupid you looked to yourself even.
Oh yeah.
I feel like now it's getting to a point where like I just don't fucking care anymore. In a good way. I don't care, but I also care more.
On stage, you're saying?
Just about all of it. Like, mainly on stage is where I see it. I think maybe it's just this thing of kind of like, I always put too much emphasis on everything. Like, everything weighed 1,000 pounds.
Sure. I don't feel like I have that issue at all with stand-up. Like, in fact, I've probably not taken it heavy enough. In a lot of ways, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, I spent my young years, I was just focusing on doing it and having like fun doing it. That it's like I said, it was like a brick to the face when I was like, you know, my mid-30s, and I was like, wait,
yeah.
I'm broke. Like, should I have cared about being in a sitcom? You know what I mean? I'm like,
right.
Just things I never really gave a shit about doing, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. But like, so I had a thing pretty early. I'm like, I'm gonna do what I do and hope to God, like, you know, someone likes it. Yeah. But in life, I have very much everything weighs 1,000 pounds.
Me too.
So that's like the more like I have to worry about shit like that.
Is it getting any better though? Or is it still everything weighs 1,000 pounds?
No, I know that's why we wanted to do this thing. This podcast initially was the subject of, I was like, I take Lexapro, so for some reason, I guess actually what it is I just have a much higher tolerance, I guess, for things with it, or it will block them completely. I don't know what the answer is, and I'll tell you what, because there's been a follow-up that you're unaware of. I figured I'd save it to tell you on the show.
Yeah.
But one day I had tickets. We were going to go see Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, and I realized that I hadn't taken Lexapro for a couple of days. I just like looked. I was like, oh shit, I forgot to take my pills.
Yeah.
A couple of days, and I was like, I'm gonna. I go, oh, you know what? Let me take this mushroom chocolate bar.
Yeah.
3.5 grams with me to the concert. I'll take it at the concert. See if it works. Because if not, listen, worst case scenario, I'll be on mushrooms. It's not the end of the world. And most likely, though, it'll be another one of those things where I'm just like...
You have a massive tolerance. You just have, like, somehow an innate... Like, it doesn't... You don't get... Like, a little dab of Molly here, whatever. It doesn't get you the way it gets other people.
No, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Even the first time I took mushrooms, everybody else was like, you know, wrapped in a blanket and staring at like colors and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't get that. I was like, I watched like episodes of Howard Stern on demand, Howard TV on demand while they were doing that and listened to music. And so I wasn't like not high.
But you weren't like, But
I also wasn't on Lexapro then. So I don't know. That might just been like body weight, higher tolerance thing. And I just didn't take enough. But several times I took him after that. Not that I don't have a good time, but that's almost what I feel. I feel like I'm like a super weed high is what it feels like. But that's not what it is. People are describing way other things than what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Took them here and there. Always the capsules, the stems and things I can't do. I'll throw them right up.
Yeah, you don't like the taste.
Taste and texture.
Yeah.
But pills, sometimes the chocolates, if they're not super mushroomy, which a lot of them still are. And I ate this bar at the concert, and when Alice Cooper went on, by the end of Alice Cooper, I realized I was like, man, I'm really enjoying Alice Cooper. And then we went back there, and we had some, like, we got like a little snack or something. Again, that was another thing too, which is probably kind of true. Like, but I was like, everyone was like, "Do we have to get something to eat? We have to get." And I took bites of the food, but I was also like, if they were just like, "There's all the food's closed," I'd be like, "Okay,
right?
Who cares?"
Yeah, there's
like,
more.
You
food,
guys are all worried about food. Like I'm like here for it if you get it, but like I want to get back. I was also like, I do not want to miss Rob Zombie coming out.
Yeah.
He always comes out very cool, and I'm like, and I'm telling everybody, I'm like, yo, no, I'm feeling these for sure.
Yeah.
I go, I'm actually feeling these now, but like,
and you're at Jones Beach, and you have great
Jones
seats.
Beach pit front, like standing.
Perfect setting.
It's like, I mean, like if I stepped forward and put my hand out, they could touch my hand. They were that close.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Okay.
I had real ear issues and stuff when we went to see Metallica a few weeks before.
Yes.
I was very worried, and I didn't. And I just realized probably halfway through this concert, I didn't even think to put headphones in. Everything was hearing fine. I don't know what it was. It wasn't like my ears weren't getting blown out. We're right in front of the stage.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just felt fine. And then Rob Zombie came on, and we watched. And I was enjoying the show so much, singing along. Like I would say, I was very present in the concert. Yep. And then weirdly at the same time, I was just thinking about a lot of stuff, but like almost like in these, it's hard to describe, like these big like bulk.
Compartmentalizing. It was almost like spring cleaning.
But like bulks of things in the compartments.
Yes.
I'm like all this thing, and I'm like, who gives a shit, dude? It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
while present at a concert.
What am I worried about? Like the outcome of these things for? It goes, it doesn't matter. Also, like, I feel like I have like not the upper hand's the wrong word because it's not like an aggressive thing. It's just like I just think I have like the balls of my court. I think on some of these things, you know what I mean? Like, what am I worried? Like, it just was very like calming, and it's like I was in a severely better mood like after that than I'd been, and also going into it was crazy, and this is what was wild about it. Also, the turnaround of that day. We had to drop off our dog at the dog sitters.
Yeah.
Who lives by Justin. Justin and Josh Adam Myers went with me. Mm-hmm. Justin Silver. Justin's going to meet us at the dog thing, block from his house.
Okay.
It's a 7-minute drive. Over an hour to get down there. Because traffic just weaving and trying to move around. We ended up in Times Square. On a Saturday afternoon. It was...
Yeah.
I found out that if you honk your horn steadily, like hold it on long enough, it'll eventually stop and won't let you push it again for a while. It takes like a 15-minute break. I swear to God, like it won't. I was actually worried. I was like, oh, if now I broke my car.
And that's not you. I know you. That's not you. Like that's not you.
Waiting for problems. A guy came up and like touched my car while he was talking to somebody, and like, I didn't even do like a get off my car. I was like, get your fucking hands off my. I mean, everything. I was looking for a problem almost, which was bad. And then I'm every cop we pass who's doing a horrific job. I'm not wrong about these things.
No.
But I'm just like I'm literally like Christine's being like JJ. I'm like cursing out the cops.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they made you a pussy ass fucking traffic cop. Like, at least do this job good, you fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and then I'm flying and weaving while I'm driving, and not also
that's
me
not
very much.
You. Yeah.
We get there, we drop off. I'm like furious. Justin gets in the car. He's like, sorry, buddy. Justin's even saying at one point, because like, I honked the horn thing again. I did that for a while, and Justin's going like, Jay. And then some guy when the horn stopped was like, shut the fuck up. The horn, and I stopped the car, and Justin's like, Jay, come on. Like, what are you like?
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then we drive, we get Josh in the car. Josh makes a joke right away. I go, Josh?
Not Josh.
And he was like, all right, I got you. And then like, I started lightening up, and also like being like apologetic to like I'm like, dude, that was just out of hand. Halfway through the car ride, we're all talking. I've always said, I'm like, damn, dude. I was like, I lost my mind back there. I was like, that was a flip. That was a turnaround. Then we get to the concert. We get to the thing where there's a split at Jones Beach where I paid for VIP parking.
Yeah.
Where you have to go left.
Yeah.
Now, when you pull up to the stop sign where there's people there usually, you really don't have to say anything to them. You can just kind of like go, but like usually the people ask them like, VIP or parking or whatever.
Yeah.
And usually they just point a direction. They don't ask for anything.
Right.
And when the guy goes, I go the VIP parking. He goes, yeah. He goes, you got a pass? Like, you have a VIP pass? And I was like, yeah. And then I went, do you want to see it here? And like a fat kid, these are like 19-year-olds.
Sure.
A fat kid behind me he goes, it'd be nice. And I was already pulling it out when he said and gave it to him. And then like, I was doing that. I'm like, do I?
It's like a falling down moment.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I doing? And then I got in there, and then I was like, when we parked, I was like, I want to go back there and just like, again, it's not like a fight almost. I'm going to ruin that fat shit's day.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like the things I'll say, and then it's just like, no, we're already far away from this. Like we're excited. We hear the band's playing already. You know, I think Ministry or something was playing. I was like,
okay.
I was like, oh yeah, let's just fucking go. And we get our tickets. We get inside. They even like, you need to be specialty checked, so take off your belt and everything, blah, 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 blah. Like, okay. You know, and we find out we're going to be in really good the pit, you know, so it's like really good seats. And we go into it, and it's like, so that's what that day started with. And when it ended, I remember walking to the car and going, I remember someone was like, because at one point I would almost argued I could drive.
I remember you telling me that.
Right, but I just said, but when they were like, no, I didn't put up any kind of a fight.
Sure.
So I was like, I feel like I'm aware. I don't think I'm like disabled.
You probably would have driven better than ever. You know,
sure.
just because
but I understand also 3 other people going like, you know what, dude? But we're not on that.
Right.
And actually, none of them drink even. So it's like,
why
not just have? And I was like,
play it safe, enjoy the music.
Of course, and that's what I did. I just DJ'd. Dude, I was laughing so hard because Christine drove.
Okay.
And I was so funny. I go, guys, I want you to know this is a big step for me. He goes, I'm so fucked up apparently that I'm willing to put it in the Lord's hands and just let Christine drive. And then it's like I don't know if you know the VIP lot out there. Why I pay for it. Why I pay for it is because it's got its own outlet.
Yes, you leave
that puts you
immediately
directly onto the Wantagh Expressway.
Yeah.
But it's a heavy merge.
Bitch of a parking lot to get out of.
It's a heavy merge.
It sure is.
And I go, we started making money. I go, here we go, everybody go. It's open the sunroof. I'm like, Jesus, if you hear my words, if I am worthy, take me into your kingdom.
The Holy Spirit, watch over us.
And that wasn't like mushroom white. That was being just funny.
Goofing off. Yeah, totally.
I was having, because I said it wasn't like spaced out, dude. I was having a fucking blast.
That's the best.
And when but walking to that car, I remember they going like, Jay, are you able to drive? Or is it, are you cool if somebody else drives? I go, well, I just had like a profound life experience at a Rob Zombie concert. So, somebody else should probably drive, you know?
It's time for Jesus to take the wheel.
And then I went home and like, I really like, not that I've like sorted out everything that I thought was like, handle it, no big deal. This will be taken care of, you know, like, but
sure.
I definitely feel like I feel like without doing anything yet on some of them, I've made a move already by going like, I'm just going to do this.
Dude.
But, so what I didn't tell you was
okay.
So
there was no mushrooms in the chocolate.
No.
It was just a crackle.
Yeah,
you did it all yourself.
It was all me. No, so I had one more of those bars left.
Okay.
So I came home from last weekend. We did
Florida.
I go to Florida, and it's these days when I'm home, especially Sunday, like I take off. Eagles played Thursday. We watched that there, so there's no football Sunday that I overly give a shit about watching. I can't start a new TV show or dig into something because Christine's she's putting together the festival, so it's like nonstop.
Right.
And like morning till night, till late night. So I just got nothing going on. And I even told her, I was like, I might take that other mushroom bar tonight. And I was like, and we'll see. Because I've taken Lexapro this weekend, and we'll see if that like dose is enough or whatever the thing.
Yeah.
Probably won't do much of any things I am on the Lexapro all this week, but like,
yeah.
Dude, Christine came out like 2 or 3 times in the thing. Dude, I was going through things. Not bad. They weren't necessarily bad things. I was laughing a lot. And it's hard to describe, but I was laughing at myself laughing because I'm looking at things and I'm going, everything, all of that first mushroom trip with Lewis and Dave 20 years ago, you know what I mean? Or however many years ago, 18 years ago. All the ones I've taken in between, seeing where I'm like, oh yeah, the lights are a little brighter. You know, it's for the first time I'm sitting there. I have 3 Guitar Hero controllers that are in a basket, like near my cat. And I remember one point when Christine walked out, I just started laughing hysterically, and she's like, "What are you laughing at?" And it was that kind of laugh where you can't say the words because I'm like, because I've just spent. I understand the lunacy of it. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, the 3 Guitar Hero controllers, like, I was like, I feel like I'm seeing the back of them from the front of the, and I'm like, there. And I was just like, yeah. At one point, I even said I was conscious. Like, I wasn't like I wasn't scared of it at all. I was just like, oh, this is what everyone's talking about. I go, I gotta try to play a video game, dude. Madden. I'm like, are these players always this huge? I mean, everything, dude. It was. It was, and by the way, but it was great. It also lasted an amount of time. Like, I took it at like 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
At like 10, when Christine was able to take a break and like we had dinner and stuff like that, I was like able to like sit and talk. I was like, yo, Christine, I go, 3 hours ago, dude. I mean,
you were chasing gnomes through the forest, dude.
The stools were talking to me. I go, and I was like, the light changing in the room. I feel like I was like, I think I noticed every inch of the sun going down in this room. You know what I mean? I was like, it's like a little darker. A little darker now.
Wait, a
little darker.
Yeah, even darker.
And then just watching stuff on TV, it was just, I couldn't like see. And then I said the video game was hilarious. I was like, and then I said I'd laugh because I was like making a joke to nobody. The idea that I was like, man, their player's so big. I was like, holy shit, dude.
How was Dawkins? What was it like playing with the pup?
Oh, she was in the room with Christine most. She would come out. I think she felt it was like weird. She was kind of like, I think she felt my weirdness.
I guarantee. Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean? I think she's kind of like did her own thing over in the corner. I can't believe
you didn't tell me about this whole weekend.
I thought it'd be fun more to tell you.
No, I know, it's hilarious. Yeah. That's
because
wild.
it wasn't like, it was uneventful. I literally didn't leave. Oh, no, did I go? Oh yeah, I'll tell you what
it was totally eventful.
I'll tell you the short. No, I'll tell you the shortest lived thing of it all, and it was good because it was raining actually, which made it good. Drizzling. I would have stayed out there on the second. I was like, I'm gonna go on my roof. I have a good roof for a window looking at other people's roofs or other people's apartments. So I'll go up there, smoke a cigarette out there. Because again, it's New York. Do you go out front? Like even
no.
It's just, you know.
Yeah.
And this is nothing like when we were in the East Village, but it's still
right. Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna pass a zillion people, and there's nowhere to sit or anything.
Sure.
So I go on the roof and I'll go up there and like smoke. And I was out there and it was like the lights of the other buildings. I was like, and it was sort of just raining enough that I was like, I'm just going to smoke a cigarette up here, like almost not looking at like the other buildings. And I was like, kind of smoking. I was like, that was just too much. Like again, almost just like visually, it was almost like hurting my eyes. I was like, I can't even see in the windows because the light of the buildings was like giving off a thing. Wow. But it was like fun. It killed those hours fast, by the way. Also like but I mean, just like I remember having those things. I was like, yeah, none of it like scared. I knew I was like, it will be over. Do you know what I mean?
You've got a great mind for it because you don't get the like. There's a monster under.
I don't
the
think
bed,
I want
kinda.
to. I don't know if I want to take a drug. Not like that, at least. Unless I was taking a thing. If someone's like, you're going to do an ayahuasca thing, which I think I'm afraid of. But
yeah,
like,
I am too.
But if I was going to do it, and like you're like, okay, it's like that's where the thing I go into. Like, I'm prepared to cry. Anytime I'm looking to take a drug, dude, it's never like to get to the bottom of something. Like it's got to literally be like I want a little escapism and like
you're looking for fun.
The best way. Now I do like the emotional like thing was that, but while that was all happening, I'm like, dude, this in life and none of you want. You know, it's like, it would be a little ridiculous if all drugs answers were like, just stop giving a shit, because that's not what it is. But I was just like, I was able to do it. But the reality of what it really was to me was I was like, well, I was. Those things were being like resolved. I'm like, this isn't a big deal, and who gives a shit? And if that happened, he goes, stop thinking about that because I'm the super, you know what I mean? And I was able to like, I'm like, why would I have my night here be even tainted by these thoughts? He goes, these are all very solvable, like people, and maybe people will be upset with you. But that was more like the realization. I was like, somebody might be upset, but like. Okay, man. Like I don't know. It was like you gotta do what you gotta do.
I love that you did. I love that you did the same mushrooms, 2 totally different settings, and had you didn't go into it expecting to recreate the first one.
No, but no thinking on that second one. I mean, literally no thinking.
You just went in and
I had no. I'm saying I didn't even have like within that like that I can remember at least. Just like it was just like thing. I was just like. Yo, I'm like the TV is like
bright as
crazy.
Fuck.
So I turn it off and then I'd be like, I'm gonna go like smoke a joint in here. And then I'd watch like I did watch like TV shows or a movie or something like a horror movie or something. And I was like, but I was having fun watching it. But I was also like, a half hour of the movie, I realized that I wasn't watching because I was like, what's going on with those Guitar Hero controllers?
You're like,
Still coming at me?
you're like, I can't believe it. I asked.
And I said, it's just eye stuff, but I was like, that's what I thought was kind of interesting about it. I was like, here's the thing. So what Guitar Hero controller, the way they're all laying is sideways.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them's a little tilted. I assume would have to be the eye trickery here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like from the side, all you see is the side and like just the littlest sliver of the buttons.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing the side of it, not the top.
Sure.
And just like when I was looking at them all, I was like, I can see every button. How's that possible? Am I seeing around a corner? But I think which is what one of the three of them probably just was.
Just bent a little.
And I was just assigning that it was like,
yeah,
they're sideways, but I see the buttons, dude.
When I did that first dose,
And I said I wasn't scared because I was like, I'm certain this is. It's like I just knew it was all the mushrooms.
Right.
I'm like confused. You know, when you're having anxiety and your heart starts thumping and your hand goes numb, I don't know what's causing that. My broken brain, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
But like this wasn't that. This was just kind of like the mushrooms are doing what the mushrooms do, man.
We're alive because we're supposed to be, dude. When I did that first dose with the lady alone, it was just me. I ate about 3.5 grams of Golden Teacher, and I ate it. It was a chocolate. We're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, like, she's talking to me, and her words are like, I can almost, like, I was living in the spaces in between the words almost, which is like, I don't know if that makes sense, but, and then I'd say something, and I'd be like, like, I had to think about every word, and I go, I think it's time to go lay down. She had like a beanbag bed set up at the other end of this dojo, and I had to kind of like walk towards it, and it was like it was literally a karate studio that was like not being used, and there's a window outside, wide open space, dude. The sun's beaming through, the river's running outside. I'm laying in this bed. She puts a speaker on the other side of me, right? And I lay down, I start taking deep breaths, and it's like the sun's hitting this light, this plant. And the plant was one of those ones that almost had like tiger stripes of like translucent, you know? So I'm watching the sun fill it with energy, and then the plant shoot the energy out into the room. And I'm like, oh, like that's how it works. I'm like, photosynthesis. I started thinking all these like words.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah, I'm like, this is how energy happens.
I forgot to tell you this. This was actually the other thing that like, I don't know how to describe it other than like, the most I noticed it was like it's just exactly that. My living room is very short, but I was like, the couch like looks like I feel like I'm seeing the whole room from like up here now.
Yes,
instead of here.
Yes.
So I'm just like, even though I know where I'm standing, I'm just like, why does it look like I'm gonna get there? And it's almost like you feel like a giant.
Yes,
is what it is.
Yes.
And where that really showed itself. And I'm telling you, Christine, I think started laughing. Because I was telling her that this was happening every day. I did have to pee a lot that day for some reason. When I'll go pee, I'm like, why is the toilet 17 feet below me? I was like, it felt like I was like, my piss stream is so long as the toilet. Like, whenever I was just looking down the toilet, it just seemed like a million miles away. And I'm like,
dude, pissing on mushrooms, and also you're pissing a gold chain, like literally like one that you'd win at the fair. Like it was just
so
like
bright,
and you're like, when it hits the water, you're like, oh my god,
am I making this?
You're literally Rumpelstiltskin.
Is this my magic?
Like making gold, dude. The lady, I laid down, and she goes, "You okay?" And I go, "I never have space because every time I'm home, my wife and my dog lay on me." And she goes, "Well, that's probably because you make them feel safe." And just that one sentence, I go, I'm like, I make people feel safe. And I started just sobbing, dude. And I'm like laughing and sobbing. And I'm like, oh,
you're laughing at the fact that you're sobbing.
I'm laughing at the fact that I'm sobbing at what a stupid, who cares? You know, why would I not make someone feel safe? But it's that opposite of what you inherently go to. And then you called me the other day and told me about the mushrooms. I'm like, didn't it feel like we were able to kind of like elevate from the situation and go like, yeah, this is nothing. Yeah. It's like literally going like, oh, the monster under, it's like an old boot. Yeah. Like I'm scared of an old boot. Like, and it's just such a nice like way of like, yeah, none of this matters. And if you tell someone it doesn't matter, you sound like nihilistic, like, oh, fucking nothing matters. Like, yeah. But for us, for anxiety people, it's like,
that's not even true. I think so much matters still. It's nothing that's changed. I'm just saying I've put like a lot on things where I'm like, you know, you can focus on the things that matter. If you knock out some of the things you put so much effort on, it's just like, this will be fine.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Whatever the outcome, this will be fine.
It's so nice to be able to like, it doesn't it make you think now? This is why I call psychedelics like a double-edged butter knife, where it's like, it's amazing to experience that other place. But then when you're back in your cluttered, kind of not going through the compartmentalizing, you're like, I know that I could be doing that, but I can't. You can't live tripping on mushrooms. Do you understand what I mean? So it's like you go there and you get the work done, and then you come back down and you're like, oh yeah, I cleaned house up there. Yeah. But then when you're back down here and you're normal, fuck the phone, missed the flight,
sometimes
whatever.
You're just there and you're going like, how can I see around corners?
How do I see front buttons from the back?
Goes, did I get magic eyes?
I'm pissing jewelry and I'm seeing around corners. That's amazing.
And
dude.
my toilet is so far away.
Are you still feeling the expansion? Remember, like, you know what I'm talking about? We were talking about how, like, you have I'm always interested in how long it lasts for people afterwards, you know?
I think I've been in like a particularly like...
You were in a great mood this weekend.
I think I've been in a particularly good mood with a very like... take it as it rolls kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm not like the things that I'm dreading, I'm just like, be fine.
Yeah.
It's funny, I'm watching like Christine, funny tweet, she had a thing yesterday. Like, I'm just having a thought about a thing, and she was like, so like, I was like, oh man, I'm just wondering, like, we're both gonna, she's going before me to the festival.
Yeah.
Going after, and then we're also going after that to Denver together.
To do Red Rocks, yeah.
And I'm just having a thought, I'm just like, you're going to bring a bar of soap. I'm going to bring a bar of soap. I've got the traveling soap dish. You don't. But when I get to Vegas, we're switching rooms that day. The day I get to Vegas, we're switching hotels. And I'm worried that if I don't get in then I'm going to open my soap. And then we're going to have two open soaps to get to the thing. And she was like I see her stress because she was just like, Jay, like, we'll get another soap while we're there, or we can get a thing. I go, no, I know this is a solution. I'm not yelling about it. I'm just thinking. I go,
thinking out loud.
How's there a way to make us each bringing one soap last the whole time without opening too many soaps? She goes, I'll put one back in the box. And I'm just like, that seems like a weird thing. And she goes, Jay, I didn't put it in a box. I've done it a bunch of times, but I'm just like, and I'm really having the thing. I'm like, why are you getting so worked up? I'm just literally like, this is a mindless conversation. We're smoking and walking the dog. I'm just like, how do we make those two soaps stretch
Turn
out?
into one.
And she's already going, she goes, we'll have to get another soap. I go, I am unaware buying another soap as an option. I'm just trying to say, how do we order Costco amount of soap every couple months? So I'm like, why? I don't want to just throw, I don't want to become soap rich where we're just throwing soaps away. You know what I mean? Like,
you're just soap heavy all of a sudden. You're like, we'll put a pin in that
I bought
idea.
a travel thing. Yeah. So we just buy another soap. I go,
love that.
we can always buy another soap. But then I'm like, why are we buying all this soap at home if we're going to be buying soap on the road?
Now, see, that's the benchmark. So in 2 to 3 weeks, if you're like, yo, this fucking soap, enough is enough. That's when you're like, I got to do mushrooms again.
Yeah. He goes, no, I got to buy soap. Now I got to land and go find a place to buy soap. My particular soap.
That's it. Fuck it. That's when you eat another one. Oh, this is so awesome. I would like to do them with you. I think we'd have a really good time.
Hell yeah. What we got to do is we got to do a gig where there's no, like, I have no bonfire Monday or something, where we just take, it's a good one where it's like we take the Sunday.
Yeah.
Arizona would have been good for that. But we take the Sunday day and just stay in that place
and eat mushrooms
and do them and then fly out the next morning.
Is Houston not possible for that?
Maybe.
I mean, because that's the week before Christmas.
Is it?
17th, so it's a week and a half before Christmas. Would that be when the break is?
We might be off, yeah.
Because that might be the best time to do it.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeehaw, we'll go lasso our souls.
And it won't be hot there. You know
it'll be perfect weather. It's really cool. I'm so glad you did it at a concert and then alone.
Dude, the alone was so, because I was really like, it's funny though, 45 years old for the first time going like, oh, this is the walls melting. That's what I was like, and it didn't, thank God it didn't scare me, or because that's what I was always kind of worried. I'm like, I'll be weirded out if I saw, because when it starts happening, I get what it is. I'm like, I'm looking at this picture, like, I'm starting to cross my eye, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, you're relaxing your eyes, and you're kind of just, it's like magic eye. Your magic eye picturing every picture you look at.
Yeah, basically, the universe.
If it makes sense, I was almost able to, so I would do it too, and I was like, yo, that thing's going. And then I would like sit up because I'd be like slumped, and I go, wait. I go,
yeah.
I'm like, no, I see fine. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm letting it happen. You're letting go, like, wow.
It's excellent. One time I'd love to see you do it if you can put, like, take away your, like, if you just put on the, I'm like a night mask, like a sleep mask, and then you can't look at the walls or anything. Yeah. And that's when it, like, really, remember when you were a kid and you'd rub your eyes so hard until you saw
my ears start bleeding and start screaming?
You start hearing the walls melting. That's when shit gets radical. Thank you. Can you tell everybody that's watching this where they can watch your special and all of your things?
YouTube, my special Dog Belly is available right now. Give me a follow on YouTube. Subscribe. Big Jay Oakerson, I think.
Big J Comedy.
You'll see. Well, Big J Comedy is my website for all my dates, which will probably lead you to my YouTube page also.
Yeah.
But I'm all over the place. Look for me in a city near you. Bonfire, 5 days a week, Faction Talk, Sirius XM 103, with me and Robert Kelly and the Legion of Skanks, an STR show.
I love you.
Love you.
Thank you.